Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back. Let me move this a little bit. There we go. All right, how's everyone doing? Welcome to the live stream. If you're here live, welcome. If you're here on the replay, welcome. Thanks for watching even after the fact. But those of you who are here live, you see what it is, you see what we're doing. This is not a new topic of discussion, not on my channel. Not across YouTube in general. I've been making videos here on YouTube for quite some time, and I've done this type of video many times. But over recent years, I've decided to do it live rather than do it as a regular long form video, just because I think it's a little bit more engaging. And you're going to basically read all of what I just said in the description, if I'm not mistaken. Devin, I'm sure you're not here anymore, but thank you for the super chat. Good to see everyone. Go ahead and shout out where you're coming from, what you're wearing as usual. How many summer fragrances should I have? You know, there's no number to that. As long as you are only obtaining what you love. That, I think, will narrow it down. See if you can commit to wearing 10s every day. Your 10 out of 10. Doesn't always work that way, but that's what I strive for. I'm trying to wear 10s. So, as a result, it's not a whole lot of fragrances. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Just McDonald, Fumito, Sir Sia just saying 2 minimum. Yeah. Dash, good to see you. Good morning. What's up? Boza? Nathaniel, thank you so much. Vape for fun. Mandarina di Amalfi. Lovely stuff. Almost made it into this video. Here in Chicago where it's hot. Spirit of Kings Arrakis. Yeah, I have Arrakis. It is nice. It is basically Bvlgari Tiger. Basically. Kevin Hill, hello. All right. Jean Baptiste coming from Philly. De Santos Wisla. Ingenious Ginger. Yes, I remember hearing about that one. Let us see. Midsummer Dream. Also, just to be clear, for those of you who don't know, I typically will spend the first few minutes just going through the comments, answering questions. I'm a little bit limited on time today, so normally I do 10 minutes. Today we're going to do 5, so we got a couple more minutes. I love Midsummer Dream. It is one of the most unique fragrances from the house. Beautiful scent, but definitely worth a sample first because it is a little different. Hey, Dean Lee, good to see you. Sarah, welcome once again out there in Maryland. I still haven't tried Velvet Tonka. Let's see. Nicholas in Chicago. Dash, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that, man. Hope you're doing well on this fine Saturday. Ocean EDP. Haven't tried it. I will say I am a little interested. I didn't care for the original Ocean all that much. It was okay. But if EDP is better, might have to give it a shot. How's the weather there? The weather here is perfect. It's been beautiful the last few days. It will be warming up this weekend into next week, which, as some of you already know, not my favorite thing, but I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. Man, thank you guys for filing in here. Good to see everyone. All right, Silver Mountain Water. Jonathan's wearing that. Can't go wrong with the summer for that one. Yes, definitely Tigar, but cheaper. Coming from Houston, Florida. Renaissance. Good stuff, man. You already know. Already know how I feel about that one. Okay. Well, everybody's smelling great today. So, we're going to get started again. I don't want to keep you guys here for too long. I have a selection of 12, well, technically 13 fragrances. As soon as I hopped on here, I saw someone leave a comment. I think it was Thomas Pyers. Thomas, I don't know if you're still here, but you reminded me of a gorgeous fragrance that I do have that I forgot about. So I'm like, you know what? I have to put this in here. I do want to wear this more. You know, guys, when you get a bunch of fragrances, you start forgetting about what you have. So let's get started. First one up here, just because I just literally grabbed it real last minute right before I logged on here. So we have 13 fragrances, and then we'll have the original 12 that are split up 6 niche, 6 mainstream, designer, however you want to call it. And Divine, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. As well as D and Lee. Thank you guys. Okay. Philosopos from Diptyque. Man, this is a beautiful fig coconut island in a bottle. Man, this is like basically an ode to the fig tree. It has the wood, so there's a dry woodiness. It has the green leaves, and it has the fruit. Juicy, sweet, but in a very natural way. It doesn't smell overly sweet. And there's a gorgeous coconut note that adds this kind of creamy tropical feel, makes it feel more like a daytime scent, more like you're out in the sunshine. And it's kind of watery, maybe ish. Not really. There's like a light muskiness or something. It's gorgeous. It is perfectly unisex. It might lean a little feminine for some of you guys. It's definitely not a hard scent. It's a softer scent personality. This is the Eau de Toilette. There is an Eau de Parfum, of which I don't have. I was always looking for that one over this one, and this one always had the better deal. So I'm like, let me just go for this. So yeah, it's not a super powerful scent, but for the few hours, 5-ish, 6-ish hours, I have it on my skin in the daytime. I love this stuff. So Thomas, if you're still here, thank you for reminding me of how great this is. I will be wearing this this coming summer. All right, let's continue on. We're going to try to alternate niche and designer, and this is in no particular order. So that was a niche scent. Let's start with this one. Oh, Gil's asking, how does Philosopos, compare to Fico di Amalfi? Fico di Amalfi is heavier on citrus. It's a little bit fruitier, juicier, citrusy, and maybe even spicier and a little watery in a way. Whereas Philosopos is a little bit more green, fruity, kind of fresh, coconutty, woody. Hope that makes sense. Okay, Mr. Veteran Vlogs, thank you. All right, next one up, Cartier Roadster. Not that easy to find. I got mine from FragBuy. I know they restock from time to time, so there is a link in the description. It might lead to the fragrance being sold out. I'm not sure, but they could have some in stock. I don't know. I didn't check before I got on here. But this is a beautiful mint fragrance. It is a very simple scent. So don't come in here expecting a ton of complexity. Yeah. It's slightly toothpastey in its mintiness, but not unpleasant by any means. So not the most natural smelling mint, if I'm honest, but it is very fresh. It's very uplifting, and it's mixed with vanilla and some other things, bringing this kind of sweet creaminess to the fresh mint. That is mostly what I get. Maybe a touch of woods, maybe a little bit of spice, but it's very bright green, fresh mint with creamy sweet vanilla. And it dries more on the kind of creamy, sweet, woody side of things. Again, very simple, but very, very nice, and not exactly like anything else. Mojito mint, spearmint, peppermint. I would put it more on the spearmint side of things, personally. It is quite fresh in that way. Really, really nice. But simple. So if you don't like simple, you can skip over it. Next. This one's getting a lot of talk these days. I think this will be the first time I talk about it on my channel since I did a little live stream. I did a couple live streams on this. I will be wearing this more. I've enjoyed wearing Elysium Eau Intense from Roja quite a bit since I've got it. I've worn, maybe 4-ish, 5-ish times, handful of times. I've gotten to know it pretty good. How do I sum it up? This is a slightly more robust and more niche version of the original Elysium, if you will. It is a different character. This is a great flanker in regards to what I think a flanker should be. It is a different personality on the Elysium identity. There's kind of a juicier, sweet, not overly sweet, kind of bittersweet, fresh rhubarb note that is very upfront. I get a little bit of a green herbal feel. I get some clean, soapy lavender. Dries a little woody. It's very, very fresh and cooling, almost like an aldehydic feel. But those of you looking for a more intense experience, as per the name, I would say it is more intense than the original Elysium Parfum Cologne. I can't speak for the Parfum version, which I haven't smelled, but it's not going to be beast mode. And again, you don't really always expect that from fresher fragrances. I get a good maybe up to 7 hours, 8 hours on my skin. After the first 2 or 3, it's sitting pretty close. So it becomes a little bit more intimate. With some heat, I think it'll pop off a little bit more, but as a result, it will also evaporate faster. So keep that in mind. I would say this is one you can overspray in the heat. You can spray twice as much as you normally would if you're going to be outside and it's hot and you're going to be mostly outdoors. Then it will get some good pop, but again, it's gonna fade. So just keep that in mind. Elysium Eau Intense, I like it. Great quality, a little different, a little bit less mainstream smelling than the original Elysium, if you're asking me. What's up, Devin? Juniper Sling, I still got to try that. All right. Designer, again, no particular order here. We're just alternating. Let's see. Wait, someone had said something. Is the performance of original Elysium as bad as people say? If you're asking me, no. Some people say it lasts 2 hours. Either their skin is made of paper or they're just going nose blind. It lasts more than 2 hours. I would say after 2 hours, it gets really close to the skin. So if people aren't smelling it around them, then they're like, oh, it's gone. Like, no, it's not gone. It's still there. You just can't smell your own neck. For me, I get a good maybe up to 8 hours of actual longevity, but of detection after 5, it's very, very light. So sample it first, try it on your own skin, see what you think. Up next is Dior Eau Sauvage Eau de Toilette. I forgot how much I enjoy this stuff. I wore this a few days ago for the first time in a while. And man, I was reminded, gosh, this is good stuff. I remember getting this fragrance maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And it was all over my channel at that time because I was really digging it. If you guys don't know, this is a classic from Dior. This came out, I want to say it was like 1968, if I'm not mistaken, if not 63, but I think it was 68. And it's been around ever since, obviously reformulated. But this is what I believe to be a dapper, timeless, classy citrus aromatic scent for men. It is not overwhelming. It is very gentlemanly. It doesn't smell like it's trying to get attention. There is a fresh kind of lemony citrus. There is this green kind of herbal mossy woodiness. There is an element here that does smell a little bit. Thank you, Sunday. It's 66. I was somewhere in between. Yeah, you guys went ahead and just looked it up. Thank you. You guys always got to make sure I'm wrong. This is, again, it's a clean smell, but there is something about it that smells a little bit mature. It doesn't smell dated, but it does smell like an older guy, not older, but someone, 30 and up is going to really enjoy this more than the younger guy. The younger guys, they probably go for Sauvage over this. Was it the EDP that they told you smells like root beer? If you're talking about Eau Sauvage EDP, no, it smells nothing like root beer. Anyway, easy to wear, doesn't last a whole long time. I wear this on a more of a classy day out if I'm gonna, I don't know, go out and maybe be out shopping with Grace, or maybe if I'm gonna go teach a trumpet lesson, I want to be a little bit more professional, or maybe a nice lunch or something like that. I will throw this on, and I know in 5-6 hours I can put something else on. So this is great. Total classic. All right. People are saying the parfum smells like root beer. You guys talking about Eau Sauvage? What? I don't know about that. All right. Let's move on. Here's another niche. I'm again just random order here. Connor, thank you so much. Believe it or not, Grace is my hairstylist. She cuts my hair and she does a great job. Salt and Pepper from Precious Liquid. I wore this one the other day as well, and was reminded, like, I really love this stuff for the heat. It is so easy to wear. Excuse me. Again, a little bit like the Cartier, not in terms of scent, but in terms of composition, it is simple. This is not a big developer or evolver on the skin. It doesn't smell like there's a whole lot in there, but it does smell great quality. Such great quality. It smells pretty natural. And it smells kind of like what it sounds like. It is minerally salt, spicy pepper. It's fresh. That's about all I get. But it kind of just smells like that. And if you can imagine putting salt and pepper on your skin, maybe that sounds weird, but it works here. And it actually performs quite well for a fresh scent. It is pretty robust. The one thing I don't love about these bottles is that their atomizers are not fantastic. Sometimes, yeah, you probably hear that and see it. It's just not much comes out. Now, sometimes a brand will select an atomizer relative to the potency of the fragrance. This is a pretty strong scent. I wouldn't say it's beast mode, but it's quite strong. In fact, all the fragrances are from this house. And they all have this atomizer. So I wonder if that was intentional. Because I know Zaharoff does that. Zaharoff selects some atomizers that are not the most diffusive ones, but they are perfect for the concentration. But obviously, you can just spray more. Just spray as much as you want. This smells wonderful. It's pretty uplifting, but it's different. It just smells great in the heat. It is one that I think has a bit of a mass appeal to it as well. It's great. All right. You guys expect this one. I'm sure you'd be like, all right, where is it, Justin? You've been talking about it. Where is it? Kenzo OM EDP. It's funny. I've seen quite a few comments on my videos, the last, 10, 15 videos, whenever I've been talking about this. And a lot of you guys have tried this fragrance by the sound of it. Some of you don't like this. Some of you have said this smells absolutely disgusting. I don't know what it is you like about it. And that, my friends, is the subjectivity of the fragrance hobby at its best. Whenever you see a reviewer, myself included, saying they love something, it's great to get excited. We want to entice you. We want to convey how we feel about a fragrance through a screen, which is a strange way to do it, but it's the best we got. However, don't expect to love it as much as we do. Leave yourself room to be surprised, and that might go good or bad. So it's totally natural. You may not like it. Anyway, what does this smell like? This is one of the sexiest aquatics I've smelled. This is one of the best mainstream aquatics I've ever smelled. It's very robust. It is kind of a smoky, salty aquatic freshness, almost like an incensey feel in there. I do get a bit of this very fleeting fruitiness at the top that's not listed anywhere. I think it's like a fig or something. And it dries with this kind of suede like skin feel. And just smells amazing. It lasts a long time. It's a very classy aquatic. It's one I might reach for in the nighttime. You could wear it day, but you could also wear it at night. The bottle kind of just speaks for that too. Kenzo OM EDT, Quentin Biche. He did some good stuff with this. Okay. Just making sure I'm not missing anything pertinent here. Damn, my room just dropped. Not sure what that means exactly. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's do this one. This is a great summer night scent. This is oud for the evening, believe it or not. The Gate Oud Tonic. I remember I went to the first Scent Explore. Does everyone know what that is? I think most of you have heard of Scent Explore. It's this fragrance event that takes place in New York City. It's been happening since 2019. Obviously, 2020 and 2021 were virtual events. 2022 was the first in-person event since the inaugural event. And I went to the inaugural event, and there the Gate was there showcasing their fragrances. This was new at the time. I remember smelling this at the time and loved it. It just didn't smell like any oud fragrance I'd ever tried, and it lives up to the name. It smells like a fresh oud. It smells like one that you could wear in the heat. Now, would this be my first choice on a hot day? No, absolutely not. But as I said, for the evening, it's nice. There's a nice sharp juniper berry note that adds this cooling freshness to it that makes it appropriate for the heat. And there's this nice kind of sweetness to it. I can't really explain what it is. It's not like a vanilla, almost resinous in a way. But there is a lot of spices in here. You have to like cloves. Cloves are pretty prominent throughout this fragrance. There's a little bit of maybe some leather in there too, but it's like clovey. It is, kind of resinous, oudy, but fresh, tonic-y. The name perfectly fits. Get a sample of this. I know a lot of you guys wonder about performance. Doesn't perform all that well for me. Honestly, I don't really detect it much after 6 hours on my skin, but that's fine because again, I will typically wear it for an evening out, and I'm not being out in the evening for like 12 hours. So for the occasion, it's perfect. All right. So I see some of you guys saying you've been wanting to try Oud Tonic. I see some of you guys have tried it. Glide says he enjoys it. Ocean water from Beach Giza, if that's what you're talking about, is also very nice. Okay. The fragrance in the thumbnail, Eau Givrée, Terre. I've been talking about this since I bought it last summer. This stuff blows me away. It may not blow you away. It might, but it blows me away. Also, juniper berry. Juniper berry is a great note for the summer. Very fresh, very cold smelling, smells frozen. Quite woody, a little bit bitter with a grapefruit citrusy feel. And it's dry. There's a dry, fresh, cold feeling. On my skin, performance is decent. I get anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, which I think this is an EDT. It actually doesn't say. There's no sticker. Nothing. I think it's an EDT. And it kind of behaves like one. It's not super concentrated. It is very diffusive, but it will evaporate quickly because it has more diffusive elements to it. Man, it smells, I want to say delicious, but not really in the way that I would want to eat. Yeah, this is great for the high summer heat. Hot days out, has a bit of a classy feel to it. So yeah, you could do, fresh out the shower. But you could also kind of dress it up, and then it works great. All right. An oldie but a goodie. Not really that old. I only got it last year. Renaissance from Xerjoff. I see you guys correcting me down in the comments. I see you. Thank you. This is another mint fragrance. Fresh mint, citrus. Has kind of a creamy, ambery musk feel as it dries. There's a green scent. Man, a very robust, fresh fragrance. Not as cold smelling as some of the others I've talked about, but it is ultimately quite fresh. Very smooth, pretty natural smelling. I haven't sprayed this in at least a week or two. Let me see. Yeah, wow. It's so smooth. It is almost, again, creamy in a way. Is it a green? A little bit. Yeah. The mint comes off a little green, but it's also like kind of a juicy lemon lime feel. But it's so wrapped up. It's so just kind of congealed together. And as it dries, it gets, again, a little ambery, musky, like a white musk, has almost a fuzzy, fresh feel to it. That sounds weird. Fuzzy fresh. Isn't that a cool term? Go ahead and copyright that. Fuzzy fresh, guys. This is good stuff. I mean, I talk about it a lot. Many of you have tried it. If you haven't, get you a sample. There will be a link down in the description. All right. Yeah, indeed. But sample it first, guys. There's a link to a sample down below. No need to jump into the deep waters. You want to make sure you love it, not just like it. But thanks for the heads up, John. Okay, let's move on to a designer. This one has snuck up on me. When I first smelled it, I liked it. Then I liked it a little bit more. And I've liked it more and more and more. It's not a 10 out of 10. This is like a 7.5 out of 10 for me, honestly. Simply because it has a very particular function. It doesn't change a whole lot on the skin. It doesn't really evolve. There's not a whole lot of components to it. But for what it is, very natural smelling, very relaxing, kind of almost transportive in a way, and well composed. Yeah. Bvlgari Man Rain Essence, their newest release from last year, right? Or was it earlier this year? When did I do that video? I think it was this year. Yeah. I know I'm going to see comments about it here in a second. That's fine. This is great stuff. This is tea with lotus flower. Lotus is a watery flower. Mark, thank you so much. We love it too. Thank you, Sunday. Lotus is a watery flower. There is this clean, fresh water feel, but not aquatic, not like the ocean, more like a lake or a pond or a river, fresh water. With this very cooling feel with a soft, relaxing, like green tea vibe. Not exactly green tea. It's more like a generic tea, honestly, but it's done well. There's no sharpness here. It is kind of musky, Soft, watery, fresh, not overly citrusy. If there is any citrus at all, maybe some bergamot, but it's very toned down. Smells wonderful. Easy to wear. I think it functions perfectly for what it is. You're not going to get 12 hours out of it. It's not going to be a projection monster. And heck, you may not even get compliments on this. I wear this for me, especially on a day when I'm just going to run out real quick and I want to put something else on later. I'll throw this on. I know it's going to have a nice little bubble. I'll really enjoy the scent. It doesn't push out a whole lot. And then it's gone. And then I can put something else on. Really, really good release from Bvlgari. Alberto Marias doesn't really go wrong. Jared, thank you so much. What's up? Good to see you. What initio do you recommend for warm weather? I haven't tried a ton of initios. The closest one I could maybe think of, because they don't really make fresh scents, is maybe like Musk Therapy, but I may not even wear that in the heat of the day. Okay. Ross is in here laughing at something. Good to see you, Ross. Let's move on to one of my favorite high heat niche fragrances. Puissant. Does Gentle Fluidity Silver smell like gin and tonic? No. It does not smell exactly like a gin and tonic. It has a gin-like freshness to it from the juniper berry. The cooling freshness is more related to very natural gin, like almost like straight from the berry itself, but not like a cocktail. However, this is also a juniper berry scent, L'Humaniste from Frapin. And this is a little bit closer to a gin and tonic. Again, not exactly, but Frapin is known for their boozy type scents. They do make alcohol actually. And this has a gin accord as well as juniper berry, as well as some juicy citruses, some spices and woods. The biggest knock this fragrance has is that it's not a very strong performer. But my goodness, I don't care at all. It smells incredible. It is so bright. It is juicy. It is uplifting. It's a little sweet in a fruity way. It's quite spicy when you first spray it, and that gin is just like, it pops. It is beautiful stuff. One I would sample first because I know, again, some of you will be disappointed with the performance. So sample it first. Do not blind buy this if you can avoid it. It is an incredible scent. Sidonie Lancesser, who is a very well-known perfumer. She's done most of the fragrances from Kilian over the last few years. She's done all the stuff for Frapin. Real talented perfumer. Smells incredible. Incredible. I still got to try Juniper Sling. You guys keep bringing that up. I need to do it. Sprite in a bottle. It is a little Sprite-ish. I will totally give you that. A little bit. Let's see here. Yes. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right. In fact, let me think. Do I have a review of L'Humaniste? I don't think I do. I thought I may have done a sample review. I did a sample. I can't remember. I've been talking about it for a while. I just don't remember when I first talked about it. Okay. 2 more, guys. 1 designer and 1 niche. Dian Lee. Mojave Ghost is a great one. That is a great scent. I don't have it, but I've tried it. Are you going to make a video on aphrodisiacs? Are you trying to attract women? Fuego pulls. Fire pulls. Is that why? Are you trying to attract women in a way that they can't understand or explain? Is that your intention? Is that why you're asking? Nonetheless, yes. In fact, I think I've already filmed it. So that'll come out later. Jared, thank you for the super chat. All right. Here's a designer. Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Justin looking for the deeper meaning. You always know. Every time. Allure Homme Edition Blanche. This is one of my favorite designers. I wouldn't say it's like, I mean, no, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. However, I have a lot of 10s. I don't even know where I'm going with that. All I'll say is this smells wonderful. This is fresh, lemony, kind of sweet vanilla, spicy, light, has a classiness to it. Honestly, this is my favorite in the Allure line post the original Allure Homme. I love the original Allure Homme. I don't have it, but I have a lot of experience with that because I had it in high school. But I like this way more than all the sports. This is good stuff. This is the Eau de Parfum. I think it was an Eau de Toilette at some time, and they transitioned it. There's this, again, creamy depth to it. It is fresh and lemony and bright. I don't even know if there's lemon in it, but it smells like it. And I've talked about it a lot, and you guys may have tried it. It's good stuff. Any last minute questions here before I reveal the final pick? What do I think of Oolong Cha or Hachivat based on my personal opinion? I think those are both great for summer. Hachivat is a scent I would not typically wear on the hottest day when the sun is out because that oak moss can become too much for me. However, Oolong Cha I think is perfect for a hot day. I actually have a bottle of that coming soon. I revisited my sample, and I've had the sample for a couple years. I was never moved by it, but I started revisiting it more and more. I'm like, you know what? This stuff is so good. I introduced it to Grace recently in our Nishane video we did. It went out just yesterday. If you missed it, I highly recommend it. She loves that stuff. And she's like, can we get a bottle of this? I'm like, I was already with you. I was already feeling it. So we got a bottle coming in. Thank you, sir. Fuego Pools. Really appreciate that. Okay, I saw one other question that sparked my interest. Let's see here. Ooh, Hawcroft. Ooh, you're pulling out the hidden ones. I have Narcisse Taiji. That is a great scent. That is a great scent. It's a very unique fragrance. Unfortunately, my wife doesn't love it. It comes off a little powdery in a way that she doesn't like when I wear it, but I love to wear it nonetheless. It has this like fruity pear. It has this green, earthy kind of dampness that Narcissus can have. And there is a freshness in there. It's a gorgeous scent. Very, very different. Thanks for bringing that up. All right, last one. Last one, guys. Another Xerjoff. This is one I would reserve for the evening. When you first smell it, it does not come off as a summer scent, if you're asking me. But when you let it sit for a while, it shows itself. It's like, you know what? I see where they're going with this. 40 knots. If you guys didn't already know, I blind bought this fragrance a month or two ago and was completely thrown off by it. I was expecting something else. By the name, by the look, by the collection and everything. It's kind of an ambery, woody scent, almost powdery in a way, sweet, ambery, labdanum, like, woody fragrance. But there is this interesting kind of aquatic, slightly salty freshness in there that I mostly get in the air. When I smell it up close, it's swallowed up by the ambery and woody scents. But in the air, I do get a little bit of this salty vibe. You could wear it in the daytime. Again, not my first pick on a hot day. But at night, good stuff. Is it similar to Ombre Nuit? Yes. It is similar to Ombre Nuit, but it does have a bit of that slight marine-like freshness, and I mean slight, that Ombre Nuit does not have. And I haven't worn Ombre Nuit in some time, but as many people say, this is stronger than that if you needed that to be stronger. And I think that was not a slouch of a fragrance by any means. So 40 knots. This stuff is great. And it passed the wife test. I had Grace smell this in a video, even from paper. She was like, this is really interesting and it's really good. So fantastic pickup. Do I recommend a blind buy? No. You may not love it. It might come off a little too powdery for some. So there's a link to a sample down below, as with almost all these fragrances, in the description. I recommend getting a sample, putting it on your hand. Don't dig your nose into it right away. Just kind of let it come to you. And just remember that it's not going to be a straight up aquatic. Get that out of your head, and then I think you'll have a good time. All right. That's it, guys. Any last minute questions before we end off here? Any last minute questions? Viking cologne. It's funny. I almost included that. It was literally, I have this little bag, this little Bvlgari bag that I transported the fragrances from my cabinet to here. It was in the bag, but I decided to replace it. I think I replaced it with Renaissance because Renaissance wasn't in here. I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm going to wear Renaissance more than I'm going to wear Viking cologne. However, I do really like Viking cologne. It's really grown on me. I'm curious if I've tried Platinum Egoist. It's been years since I've smelled it, and I've been meaning to just come back around to it. I might just buy it. It's fun. You asked the same thing, Mehdi. It's so funny. Yeah, it's good from what I remember, but it's been like 5 years since I've smelled it, so I might just buy a bottle. I don't know. I know it's a classic. I love my Fougères, and I know it's kind of a unique one, so I might do that. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Any other questions? Throw us a bonus summer fragrance for the end of the video. I just gave you all 13. Those are all bonus. I don't have any fragrances in front of me. I'd have to get up and go grab one. So you just have to deal with what we've talked about. And if that's not okay, then I have other videos. I've already talked about some great summer fragrances. Is Osaito worth a sample? Osaito from Micallef. Yeah, I mean, I think any fragrance that has piqued your interest for one reason or another is worth a sample. Get a sample. I wouldn't consider that to be a remarkable scent. I think it's very pleasant. I think it's very easy to wear. It's kind of this minerally aquatic scent with a little bit of a maybe almost fruity feel. But as a scent personality, there's other fragrances that I like more that are in that vein. However, worth a sample. You might like it more than I do. Okay. Check it out. Oh, Zaharoff Leather Tabak. I have talked about it a few times in select videos. That is some good stuff. That's a great scent. Powerful, robust, not for the faint of heart, and definitely not for the summertime. Anyway, where's the muted trumpet? Muted trumpet is in its case. Let's see here. Fico di Amalfi or Philosopos? Thomas, that is tough. That's tough. Personally, I choose Philosopos. But Grace actually would choose Fico. She's been wearing the crap out of Fico di Amalfi lately. I prefer Philosopos though, but Fico's beautiful. Why do you suppose Creativentis has worsened? Oh, my Creativentis. John, I'm not sure. I've heard that Creed can have issues with their bottle design, or it's not the greatest seal, and it makes it so that some of the lighter ingredients, some especially like the citruses and those top notes, will evaporate from the bottle. So, but in terms of its performance, I'm not sure. In fact, I've been in my head, excuse me, I've been in my head about it for years. And I keep thinking, man, is it really not lasting? Or maybe I'm just going nose blind, because that could be a thing too. Anosmia can take place with long time exposure to the same stimulus. Now, whether it can be compartmentalized to one fragrance, I don't know. Or it's like, because I've smelled Creed Aventus so much, I don't really detect it much at all these days, but I still can smell other things. I don't know exactly how that works. So I'm still not super definitive on if the performance has actually worsened. But what I will say is that it doesn't appear as robust as it once was. That could be me. It could be a combination. So it's still not definitive. I need to do some more testing. I just don't really reach for it anymore. So I don't really test it myself. You guys got some ton of questions in here. Good stuff. Does anyone that has interest in Second Soul still have an opportunity to check it out? Jared, thank you for asking. Yes, there's still some left. There should be a link down in the description. I've always struggled to say that. In the description, there's a link to all of the Zed Creators, including mine, Second Soul, and yes, there's samples there. You can buy samples. So down in the description, but they are still going. And the stock is running low. So if you have been sleeping on that, maybe pick yourself up a bottle or get a sample first. Okay. Oh, man. Lots of questions. I actually need to get going. Let me do like 2 more great questions. I'm filtering the questions, guys. I'm looking for the hard-hitting stuff. If I'm going to end with 2 questions, I need them to be substantial. Thank you so much, Sarah. Have a great weekend as well. You recently got a backup bottle of Brass and Soul. I'm curious where you got that. I assume it was a secondhand bottle, or maybe someone had bought one and kept it sealed and resold it. Let's see. Okay. Well, I see people asking about very specific fragrances. This is one that's kind of controversial. Is Creed overpriced? You know how they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder? The same goes for value. Value is in the eye of the beholder. In basic business, the market sets the value of product. How do you know if something is valuable? If people buy it, right? People will pay what they deem reasonable. So that's really up for you to decide. Because while some people might say, ugh, they've watered down the scents, performance sucks, not worth it, overpriced, and as well as the prices have gone up. Some might say at the same time, I think their scents are high quality, they represent luxury, they truly are doing niche perfumery at its finest, totally worth the price. It's going to depend. So there's no definitive answer to that question. Good question, but I don't have a great answer for you, unfortunately. Alrighty, I think that's going to be it, guys. Coco Loco, I hope to try it sometime. Thank you all for joining me on this fine Saturday, whether it's morning, evening, or night for you, I hope, or afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. I want to warn you guys before you log off. I see some of you just logged off. Before you log off, tomorrow I'm releasing a video. I'm going to tease at it on my YouTube channel later today. I'm just going to put up a post. This video will be one of the most different videos I've ever made. Maybe even the most controversial. I'm not sure. But it's coming tomorrow, and I am so curious as to what you guys will think about it. So, just wanted to warn you, keep your eyes peeled. It's always a weird phrase. Keep your eyes peeled for that video coming tomorrow morning. Nonetheless, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. And have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon. No, it's not a workout routine. See you guys.